The Chevy Colorado has always been one of the best-selling midsize pickup trucks in the US market besides the Toyota Tacoma. This model has a cult following and many satisfied buyers, mainly due to the fact that the Chevy Colorado delivers in almost every aspect. But still, there are some negatives of this model that for many buyers are a real deal-breaker these days. So, stay with us while we learn the 8 reasons why you should not buy the Chevrolet Colorado. Number 8. Lack of configurations. One major factor why people choose one truck over the other is the ability to configure this vehicle the best they can in order to match their needs. We're talking about the cab and bed configurations. The previous generations of the Chevy Colorado came with an abundance of options and ways to configure your truck. These included an extended cab and a crew cab, which came paired with a variety of different bed sizes, and this was a really nice thing to have, but not anymore. The newest generation of the Chevy Colorado only comes with a single cab and bed size. This is the crew cab and the 5-foot bed. This is easily the most popular configuration that people go for, so Chevy decided to ditch the smaller cab with this generation of the Colorado. This made a lot of buyers extremely angry because they wanted to get an extended cab with a longer 6-foot bed, so they went elsewhere and got a Toyota Tacoma. The Toyota Tacoma, even with the latest model, comes with a variety of different cab and bed types. This is why we strongly hope that Chevy will fix this, and for the following model year, we'll see a new model with different configurations available. Number 7. Poor driving characteristics. We're not living in the 90s anymore, and these days it's really important how a truck drives. Buyers want to have a good driving experience behind the wheel, and we can tell you that the Chevy Colorado drives in the same way as trucks 20 years ago drove. There's no refinement in the suspension. The Chevy Colorado comes with a leaf spring setup in the rear, which makes the rear end loose at highway speeds. Some of the competitors of the Chevy Colorado have ditched this approach for something more modern. For example, the all-new Toyota Tacoma comes with both leaf springs and a multi-link setup for the rear end. So if you use this truck predominantly for work, choosing a leaf spring suspension is the way to go. If you use this truck for cruising, then a multi-link setup will be perfect. For the upcoming years, we strongly hope that Chevy will add this to the Colorado and make a ton of customers extremely happy. The multi-link setup simply outpaces the leaf spring suspension when it comes to driver comfort, and the experience it delivers is simply incredible. Number 6. Base model feels underpowered. Power is another vital piece of the puzzle when it comes to buying a new truck. The truck has to deliver a decent amount of power in order to be considered a good purchase. The all-new Chevy Colorado comes with a 2.7-liter inline-4 turbo engine. This engine is a small displacement force induction engine that is built like a tank. This means that the engine, although small, is pretty much bulletproof and able to withstand anything you throw at it. But what many owners dislike about this engine is the low-output version. This engine comes with a high-output and low-output version. The high-output version makes up to 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque, which is a massive performance, but the low-output version only makes up to 237 horsepower and 259 pound-feet of torque, which honestly is not a lot of power. Just for reference, the base Ford Ranger with a 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine produces up to 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. This is a massive improvement over the Chevy Colorado. So we strongly hope that Chevy will improve the base version of the Colorado and add more power to the low-output version of the 2.7-liter engine. However, the 2.7-liter is a turbo engine, so you're able to tune this engine in order to produce more power, which is really a positive thing to have, especially if your model is no longer under warranty and you can tweak its performance in any way you like. Number 5. There's no replacement for displacement. Another downside for the Chevy Colorado is definitely the core design of the engine. Although it's built like a tank, the engine is still very small. A small engine is not a good engine in many situations, especially when it comes to towing and payload. Overloading the low displacement engine in many cases means a low engine lifespan. That's why if you load your Colorado non-stop, the engine will not last for many years, and you'll need to do a replacement sooner rather than later. This is why we don't really recommend that you go for this type of engine if you need a proper workhorse of a truck. Going for a larger full-size truck with a V8 gas-powered engine or a diesel might be a smarter decision. Another thing to add when it comes to the 2.7-liter engine is that this engine is pretty noisy and creates a lot of vibrations. These vibrations might be a deal breaker for many out there. This is why we recommend test driving the model before you buy. The vibrations are caused because of the direct injection system as well as the design of the engine. Inline-4 engines are not really the best balanced engines out there. That's why they create vibrations, so watch out for this. Number 4. No diesel variant. Another reason why you should not buy the Chevy Colorado is the lack of a diesel engine. Trucks are workhorses, and we all know that diesel engines are the best performers in this area. Up until 2022, the Chevy Colorado came with a diesel engine. This was the 2.8-liter Duramax inline-4 engine that produced 181 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. And as you can see, the engine was not a performance machine, but its sheer torque delivered a very good towing and payload performance. These days, we lack the diesel option in the Chevy Colorado, and this makes a lot of people extremely angry. They want to get a diesel option and enjoy the excellent torque and the great fuel economy. Just for reference, the 2.8 Duramax engine delivered up to 28 mpg on the highway, which is almost impossible to do with the gas-powered versions. A diesel engine will not only deliver excellent power, but it will also save you a ton of money in the process. Number 3. No hybrid model. Another thing that buyers find negative about the Chevy Colorado is the lack of a hybrid model. We live in a hybrid era, and having a hybrid model is the way to go if you want to get the most sales. Just for reference, the Toyota Tacoma has a hybrid model, and this is the iForce Max model that delivers excellent fuel economy. Another model that will also be introduced is the Ford Ranger Hybrid. This model comes for the 2025 model year and will deliver up to 27 miles of autonomy in EV mode and a max tow rating of 7,750 pounds. So Chevy needs to react quickly and introduce its own hybrid model for the 2025 model year in order not to lose sales. Whether we're going to see this model released is still unknown because the 2025 model year was not shown quite yet, but we're very optimistic that we're going to see a hybridized version of the 2.7-liter engine released for the 2025 model year. A mild hybrid, if released, will not be as expensive, but will definitely improve the fuel economy and deliver up to 30 mpg combined. While a plug-in hybrid will be more expensive, will deliver similar combined fuel economy, and will also deliver up to 30 miles of autonomy in EV mode. This will make the model pretty much perfect for those who love to drive around town and not turn on the ICE at all. Number 2. Too much cheap plastic. Another area that buyers bashed when it comes to the Chevy Colorado is definitely the choice of materials. The Chevy Colorado is filled with cheap plastic. Even the steering wheel has a plastic feeling, which is a massive shame. The cabin looks extremely modern and has a ton of tech, but the choice of materials is simply poor. This is especially noticeable in the work truck. The WT model is flooded with hard plastic everywhere, and there are simply no luxury features. The seats are basic cloth seats, and this doesn't leave a very good impression. However, we understand that Chevy had to make some compromises in order to make this model affordable and competitive in this segment. Number 1. Rear seats lack comfort. And the last reason why you should not buy the Chevy Colorado is the rear legroom space. Although this model has a crew cab and is designed to seat up to 5 people, the space in the rear is somewhat limited. This can be problematic for people who are taller and need more legroom. In addition to this, the rear seat is not as comfortable as some would expect. This is why, if you carry a lot of passengers, we would recommend that you go elsewhere and choose a different truck. The Colorado is simply not up to the task when it comes to delivering the best passenger comfort in the midsize segment. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.